All right.
All set.
Those are yours.
So is it the front brakes then?
I'm going to check them all, so I'm going to take all four wheels off. That's metal to metal. How long have it been making noise?
Couple weeks.
So where exactly is the problem?
The other side, this surface is worn. Basically, there's two pads inside of here that you can't see till I take it apart. That the pad on the other side on the inside is worn out completely. So now it's just metal against metal, and that's a grinding sound.
This one's okay.
Well, it's not grinding, but when you replace brakes, you do one axle at a time, so you got to do both wheels.
Okay.
The piston into the caliper so that I can determine if the brake caliper pins are free. Because if they're not, then you have to get in another part besides pads and rotors.
Alright.
So if it goes in easy like it is right now, then it tells me the pins are free, so I don't have to get new pins. I'm going to get new parts for this car. At least not on this side. Now I'm going to check the other side and do the same thing and see if it goes in just as easy. Take apart this side because I know it's metal to metal and make sure that just the pad is wearing and not the caliper itself. Because the pad parts come in before that. Bad enough where the pad, even the metal part of the pad is broken or worn out so bad that it started to wear into the caliper and then had to get a whole extra part that I wasn't counting on.
Alright, can you point to what is the caliper?
Okay.
What part of it?
This is the caliper right here. This part that's moving. This is the caliper bracket that the caliper attaches to. So I wanted to make sure these pins that go in and out right here move freely so that I know I don't have to get new pins. So right now I'm going to take these two bolts apart to get the caliper off to see what the inside pad looks like.
Okay. Got it.
So there's a pad inside of this part underneath this piece of metal that rides against this surface of the rotor that has worn out all the pad material. Now it's just rubbing on metal.
Okay.
And that's the grinding noise you hear when you hit the pedal. Because I want to make sure I don't get brake dust and rust and everything else just sitting on the floor. It's easier to just pick up the paper, then it saves you a lot of time and cleanup. These usually aren't on there very tight, so they're pretty easy to get loose. Turning another part that I gotta get wrench for.
What's the first car you ever worked on? Do you remember? I guess like one of them.
Appearance 74 Impala. Fixed the exhaust on it.
How old are you? About
15 or 16. Okay.
it always seems like there's so many like just like secrets, like hidden things you don't know. Like if you're unexperienced, like
So this is the piston. This round hole is the piston inside of the caliper. So what I was concerned about was that so much metal had worn off that it started to wear this metal, but it has not. So this caliper is fine, we can reuse it.
Okay, good.
So you just gotta support it. Make sure I put all the bolts and parts that come off the car in one spot. I know where the heck they're at when I go put them back on. This part I'm prying on is the brake pad. And with this one, which has enough pad left on it to go for a while, you can see this line right here. So you see the black piece is the metal, the gray piece is the pad. This piece is the pad on this side, the metal's on this side.
Okay.
So the black piece is the metal and the gray piece is the pad.
What's the pad made of?
Different organic materials, just friction material that rides against the metal of the rotor and dissipates the heat.
See, I always think of a pad like something soft.
No,
like,
these are very hard.
yeah.
But why this pad wore differently than that pad makes me wonder if the caliper was messing up. But this doesn't have any pad material on it, it's all metal. That's where the pad was, and now that's no more. You can see just a little remnant of the pad right there, not even that.
Okay.
So those marks are made by this and this wearing against each other, metal to metal. So these got to be replaced, and this rotor has to be replaced on both sides of the car. Now we're going to jack up the back and check the back to see if the back needs to be replaced.
All right.
We know the front does, and the front has to be replaced before you drive it again, because you can't drive with brakes like that. You can, you have, but it's very dangerous.
All right. What are we at price-wise right now?
I don't know until I look it up. I mean, online,
Oh, okay.
online, a day or two out is probably about $100
Just for one side?
for this whole front of the car. Uh-oh. Yep.
What'd you do?
Trying to get the wheel off. So if you're ever stuck on the side of the road and you got to take your wheel off and it doesn't come off, that's what you got to do.
Okay. No.
Yeah. Now look at that. Pads and rotors on the back. So the outer one, right there is where I'm looking. You can see the metal here, and the pad is kind of like a brown material. This one, there's plenty of pad there. I spin it, I don't hear any grinding noise. Then I look up top and I see the other pad for the inside, right here and right here. So there's plenty of pad on this wheel. There's no need to do any brakes on this side. We're going to check the other side just to be sure. You see the part that's moving? That's the rotor. So the parts on either side of it are the pads.
Okay.
This side's the same. So there's nothing wrong with the back, which is a good thing, because this is not an easy caliper to change or to mess with. Because the emergency brake is connected here, and it works on a lever system and pushes the piston in with lever action when you need the emergency brakes put on. But it also works hydraulically. When you press on the pad, it squeezes the pads against the rotor. So in order to change this one out, you'd have to take the caliper off and then actually rotate the piston by hand rotate the piston into the caliper in order to get it open enough to put new pads on. So we don't have to do that, but I'm just explaining why I said that this one is more difficult to do. This is not.
And what do you mean bar?
Let me get my tool.
Okay.
So basically, you've got this tread between the top of this bar and this right here left on your tires before they get replaced. So it's not a lot, but it's enough to get you through. You don't need to get tires right away. But also look for, make sure it's worn evenly across here. That tells me it's been rotated regularly and there's no alignment issues with the back end. This is the gun, air gun to put your lug nuts on. You want to make sure that you put one lug nut on as far as you can get it so the wheel stays in place, and then start the other lug nuts on the threads. Because if you start a lug nut inside of the socket with the gun, you could strip the threads. So just a tip. Attention.
How far do they go back? Like, it's like the latest car, like farthest back car you can buy a part for.
Standard parts stores probably 2000, maybe the 1990. Okay. But that's why online is a wonderful thing because you can find all kinds of stuff. Well, this is Advanced Auto Parts, so sometimes if I need something right away, I don't want to wait for the online order. I can get it right at the store. Caliper for this rotor, so this right here has, these two pieces have to come out to take this big round piece off. Okay. So first I hit it with some liquid wrench and then shock it with the hammer. Tapping with the hammer breaks the rust. That's where you do that. Come on. Now this one's going to be a little harder. It's a bit of a torch. I have to heat it up. And as the handle expands, it breaks the rust. And since we're going to replace this part anyways, I don't really care if I warp it or not. Just got to give it a minute or two. I let it heat it up. Caliper bracket that we just took off. Now the rotor has to come off, and I have to pound on that a little bit to get it to come off. It's going to get really loud. You know what I mean about all the rust that comes off of these things?
Yeah, man.
Alright, so this side is ready for new parts. Oh, one more thing I gotta do. Make sure this caliper is all the way in so that when I put it on, I can get it over the new canvas. First you gotta clean, one of the things you do is you clean this surface of rust. So when the new rotor goes on, it sits on there evenly and doesn't warp. use the old pad so you get a nice even push on the piston. So this is rubber, this is metal right here. Mm-hmm. You're pushing that piece of metal down into this bore to make room for the new pads. So you keep going until it doesn't go anymore. You can see that piece of metal is now all the way down inside of that rubber. That rubber piece is sealed between the piston and the wall of the caliper. So that side is ready. Pieces off the other side. Excuse me.
What is this tube thing connected to it?
That brings the brake fluid from the master cylinder down to the caliper. So basically the master cylinder is under the hood. It holds the brake fluid. There's brake fluid between that and here. And since fluid is not compressible, when you step on the brake pedal, you're pushing fluid out of the master cylinder down this tube into this caliper and squeezing these two pads. That's what stops the car.
I should just...
2 degrees in automotive technology management, associates and bachelors. So I not only have done it, working on it, but I've also gone to school for it. Nope, I did. For 19 years I was in fleet as a garage supervisor and inspect trucks, basically help design the trucks that we bought. But now I'm working in gas transmission pipeline integrity. So it's a lot different. But it's a job.
Differences between the left and right sides, like as far as this?
Yeah, I mean, you have to get a right and left side caliper, but as far as rotors and pads, no.
Everything's the same. Okay.
Yeah, but you usually have differences between front and back with pads and rotors, so you gotta get that correct. Oh, great.
So you're selling the Mustang, eh?
Trying to. A couple offers, but they're really lowballing.
How much are you trying to sell for?
Well, it's listed for $52.49. I need to get at least $5,000 out of it. Done too much work in the last year to not get at least that out of it. Plus, I'm selling it with right here a whole another set of rims and tires,
Okay.
and that's $400 or $500 by themselves. I bought those at eBay or somewhere else. But the challenge is it's got 180,000 miles on it, so it's scaring a lot of people, I think. Or causing them to lowball me. Yeah, if we can straight this would be wonderful. Oh, jeez. All right, let's go get some parts.
That's our copy.
All right,
All set.
those are yours. $5 off because they had food in there for 20% off. First thing you gotta do is prep the rotors, because they usually have a film of oil on them. You want to get off, you put them on the car. Gum out. Straight on there and wipe it off. Putting this special purple high temperature lube on them so they slide easy and don't bind up ever. I'm gonna get the excess off. Clean the old stuff off of them. These didn't have much on there, so I'm amazed that they're as well as easy to pull out as they are. Put them back in their bores. Make sure this rubber boot gets all the way around. So you can see this is all new friction material.
Okay. They're not staying in place.
Well, they will. I just gotta need an extra pair of hands. Put your fingers right there. Just hold those together while I mess with this other thing. Until I can get this ready.
What's that purple stuff called?
Brake lube. Basically stops the brakes from squeaking. Come on. Why'd you let that go for, Lance?
I don't know. Call me to you. You need me to hold it again?
In a minute. Just gotta sit there for a little bit while I mess with this thing. It's just falling off of there. Come on, really? Okay, now we gotta get a torque wrench and torque those bolts down to the proper torque setting. Which is found in the manual. Oh, come on. I hate these lug nuts have a aluminum piece on them that causes them to bind inside of the side. Come on. Cool. Earlier it was behind some clouds. It was just kind of like fuzzy. It was kind of neat. So break the brakes in. I'm going to do a 5 times, go up to 40 and hit the brakes real hard.
Alright.
Then after that, I'm going to do 5 times from like 20, hitting the brakes real hard, but after I drive it for a while. It sets the pad and rotor together. So